Welcome back, my Alpha family. Today, we are going to dive deep into a truth that will challenge everything you've ever been told about success and revenge. Because let's face it, some people need to understand the consequences of messing with us. When you decide to take your life into your hands, you make a choice that the world will feel, and there are those who will try to play their little games against you. These are the same people who see your rise as a threat to their fragile existence. These are the same people who will stop at nothing to see you fail. But little do they know that in the end, it's not them who will be celebrating, it's you, while they spiral down into chaos and despair. And today I want you to hear me loud and clear, because what's coming for them is something they never expected. You didn't just get into the ring to fight for a title. You entered that ring to shatter their world, to disrupt everything they thought they knew about power and control. This is not about petty revenge or short-term satisfaction. This is about destroying their game from the inside out, until there's nothing left but ashes. You see, people underestimate you. They look at your silence, they look at your calm demeanor, and think that you're weak. They think you're predictable, that you'll play by the rules they set. They couldn't be more wrong, because you didn't come here to follow the script. You came here to rewrite it. And while they were busy thinking, they had you cornered, plotting and scheming. You were quietly laying the foundation for their downfall. Now here's the kicker. They don't even realize that you've already sabotaged their game. And by the time they wake up to it, they'll be in too deep to recover from the consequences of their own actions. They are spiraling, but they won't even know what hit them. They'll still be blaming others for their failure, never understanding that it was you who set the wheels of destruction in motion. For too long, you've watched them rise through deceit, manipulation, and exploitation. You've watched them take the credit for your hard work or bask in the glory of what you've built with your own hands. They thought they could control you. They thought they could take from you and leave you with nothing but. Instead, you played the long game, and now they're trapped in a web. They wove for themselves, and you don't need to say a word because your silence is more powerful than any threat you could ever make. They thought they were too clever, too resourceful, to fall victim to their own schemes, but they didn't realize they were already playing into your hands the moment they crossed you. It's almost poetic when you think about it. They spent so much time trying to destroy you that they never noticed the seeds of their own destruction being planted right beneath their feet. They laughed at your setbacks and mocked your failures. But little did they know, each time they tried to kick you down, they were actually building the foundation for their own downfall. Each lie they spread, each false rumor they planted, each time they stabbed you in the back, they were digging their own graves. And now it's too late for them to stop it, because once you've made the decision to destroy their game, there's no turning back. The spiral is inevitable, and what's even more delicious is the fact that they'll be the last ones to understand what's happening to them. They'll be so consumed with their egos, so obsessed with their own sense of superiority, that they won't even see the walls closing in until it's too late. By the time they start to figure out that they're sinking into the abyss of their own making, it will be far too late to change their fate. They'll scramble desperately for control. But the truth is, they lost that the moment they underestimated you. This isn't just about showing them that you're better than they are. No. It's about proving to them that you were never their pawn. You were never their victim. You were never their plaything. They thought they had you figured out. But you've been playing a much different game the entire time. And now, they're learning the hard way. What happens when you try to sabotage the wrong person? They thought they could crush your spirit, break your will, and make you cower in the shadows. But instead, they've created a monster. And now, they're watching as that monster rises out of the darkness with a vengeance they couldn't have imagined, and there's no place left for them to hide. What's coming for them is a storm they never saw coming. They'll look around and wonder where their support went. They'll search for allies, but they'll find only empty spaces, because the people they thought were loyal to them are already jumping ship and joining your side. They'll see their empire crumble, brick by brick, and the more they try to salvage it, the deeper they'll sink into the quicksand of their own failure. And when they try to reach out to you for help, to beg for mercy, you'll smile, knowing that they are no longer relevant to you. Their desperation will amuse you because you know exactly what's happening, but you won't waste your time explaining it to them because they already know. They've already felt the weight of their own lies and manipulation crashing down upon them. Their downfall is no longer something they can avoid, no longer something they can deny. It's already set in motion, and now they're just waiting for the inevitable. And the beauty of it is that they won't even be able to say they saw it coming. They won't be able to look back and say, you gave them a warning, because you didn't. You let them think they were in control. You let them believe they were winning, while you quietly and efficiently dismantled their game piece by piece. And now they have no choice but to watch as everything they worked so hard for falls apart, and there's nothing they can do to stop it, because they've already lost. So let's be clear, this isn't about revenge, this is about justice. This is about making sure that those who try to sabotage you are held accountable for their actions. This is about proving that there are consequences for playing games with the wrong person. And while they may be spiraling right now in the chaos they've created, the truth is they're only just beginning to feel the weight of their choices. They thought they were playing the game, but what they didn't realize is that they were the ones being played. And now, they have nothing left to cling to, nothing left to protect them, because the very thing they tried to destroy is the thing that's going to consume them. You didn't ask for this fight, but you'll be damned if you're going to back down from it, because in the end, it's not about the small petty victories they've had over you. It's not about the times they've belittled you or tried to make you feel inferior. It's about the ultimate outcome. It's about watching them crumble in the wake of your power and strength. It's about taking back control of your life and turning the tables on those who thought they could control you for their own selfish gain. And now that you've sabotaged their game, they have no choice but to face the consequences of their actions. And no matter how hard they fight to stay on top, they're already doomed to fail. The spiral is unstoppable. Now there's no way out for them. They're too deep in the hole they dug for themselves, and the more they try to climb out, the harder it becomes, because you've sealed their fate. And as they fall further into despair, just remember, you didn't lift a finger to make this happen. You didn't need to stoop to their level or get dirty in the process. You simply waited for them to sabotage themselves, and when the moment was right, you struck with precision, and now they're left with nothing but the wreckage of their own making. So let them spiral. Let them fight their own demons. Let them wonder where it all went wrong, because deep down inside, they know exactly what happened. They know who caused it. They just can't admit it to themselves, because to do so would be to acknowledge that you were right all along. And that's a bitter pill to swallow for anyone who thought they had the upper hand. You've proven that you are the true master of this game, and they are nothing more than pawns in a game they thought they controlled. But in the end, you're the one who's left standing while they descend into madness. Now, as you watch them fall into the chaos they created, just remember one thing. You didn't do this to make yourself feel better. You didn't do this for validation. You did this because it was necessary. You did this to protect your peace, your future, and your place at the top. And in the end, that's what matters most, because the people who tried to sabotage you never mattered. They were nothing more than obstacles in your way. And now that they've been removed, You're free to rise higher than you ever thought possible, while they spiral further down into their own destruction. So let them spiral, because in the end they'll know who was truly in control all along. And when the dust settles, when the storm passes, you'll be standing tall as the victor, and they'll be nothing more than a faded memory, lost in the wreckage of their own ambition. This is your moment, this is your time, and nothing can take that away from you, no matter how hard they try. Now go forth and own it, because you've earned it. Every step you've taken, every battle you've fought, every ounce of strength you've poured into this fight has led to this moment. You may not have asked for this, but make no mistake, it was always yours to claim. You were never meant to sit back and watch others rise while you stayed in the shadows. No, you were destined for more than that. And as much as they tried to keep you down, as much as they tried to convince you that you were less, that you didn't belong at the top, it was always a lie. The truth is, they feared your potential long before you even realized it. They feared what you could do if you ever decided to stop playing by their rules. They feared you because they knew, deep down, that they couldn't control you, and that's why they tried to sabotage you. That's why they plotted behind your back, whispered about you in dark corners, and tried to make you feel like you were less than what you were. But in doing so, they underestimated you in the most dangerous way possible. You are the storm they could never predict. You are the force they thought would dissipate, only to find that it's growing stronger. They looked at you and saw an opportunity for control. They didn't see the fire in you, the fire that's been burning since the moment they decided to take from you what was yours. They never understood that you don't bow to the whims of those who wish to bring you down. You don't beg for mercy from people who think their power is absolute. You don't cower in the face of adversity. No, you stand tall, you rise above, and you show them that their games were always destined to fail. So here's the truth they'll never admit. You didn't just play their game, you broke it. You tore it down from the inside, and they never even knew what hit them. They were so focused on trying to control the board that they didn't see you changing the rules. You didn't give them the satisfaction of knowing they were in danger until it was too late. And now, as they try to scramble to hold on to the remnants of their power, you watch with cold clarity, knowing that they have already lost. You didn't need to go toe-to-toe with them. You didn't need to get dirty in their world of manipulation and deceit. No, your strength is in your silence, in your strategy, and in your ability to be patient. While they acted impulsively, driven by arrogance and self-interest, you waited. You let them build their own prison with every lie, every deception, every act of sabotage. And now, as their walls crumble, you stand outside of it all, watching as the chaos unfolds, knowing that this moment was always meant to come. They didn't just lose a battle, they lost everything. Their foundation is shaking because they built it on lies, on manipulation, and on the suffering of others. You, on the other hand, built yours on something much stronger: resilience. Every time they tried to break you, you only grew stronger. Every time they tried to tear you down, you used it as fuel to build your power. You are the result of every hardship, every betrayal, every setback. You are not the victim of their games. You are the architect of their demise. And as they spiral further into chaos, they'll find themselves looking for someone to blame. They'll search for an answer, an explanation for why everything fell apart so suddenly. But the answer will be clear to anyone who's paying attention. They sabotaged themselves. They thought they could take what was yours and get away with it. They thought they could crush you under the weight of their manipulation, and in doing so, they sealed their own fate. What's even more beautiful is that they will never see it coming. They'll never understand what happened. They'll never admit that their downfall was caused by their own hand, by their own greed and desire for control. And as they try to make sense of the wreckage they've created, they'll be forced to look at you, the one who they underestimated, the one they tried to break, and they'll realize too late that you are not just a survivor, you are a conqueror. Now let them spiral, let them lose their grip on reality as they watch everything they've built crumble to the ground. There is no greater punishment than watching someone who thought they were invincible lose everything in the blink of an eye. The empire they so carefully constructed with lies, manipulation, and falsehoods will collapse, and there will be no one left to help them rebuild. They will have no one left to turn to, no allies to stand by their side. Their loyal followers will begin to scatter, sensing the end is near, and they'll be left alone, with only the wreckage of their own actions to keep them company. But you'll be standing tall, watching from the sidelines as they desperately try to hold on to what little they have left. You won't gloat. You won't revel in their misery. You'll simply observe with the quiet satisfaction that comes from knowing you didn't need to stoop to their level. You didn't need to fight dirty to win. Your victory is in the knowledge that you are always a few steps ahead. Your victory is in the fact that they were never worthy of your time, your energy, or your effort. They were never worthy of being in your orbit. As they continue to spiral, they'll start to question everything they thought they knew about power, control, and success. They'll begin to realize that the very things they used to dominate others, deception, manipulation, fear, are the same things that destroyed them. They'll come to see that no matter how hard they try to control their environment, no matter how many people they try to manipulate, there are always consequences for their actions. And those consequences are never as easy to escape as they think. They may try to reach out to you in desperation. They may try to apologize, to beg for your forgiveness, but it won't matter. They'll never get the satisfaction of hearing the words they want to hear, because you know that what they truly seek is not redemption, it's survival. They want to survive the collapse they've caused, and they'll do anything to stay afloat. But you know that their time is past. You know that no matter how much they beg, there's no way back from this. This is the price they pay for underestimating you. This is the price they pay for thinking they could control you, for thinking they could manipulate you into submission. Now, as they descend into chaos, you'll be the one who stands firm, untouched by the storm they created. You will continue to rise while they fall, and that will be the ultimate reminder of who you are and what you are capable of. The spiral is not something they can stop. It's already in motion, and there's no turning back. They will be left to face the consequences of their actions, and they will have no one to blame but themselves. And as they watch everything they've worked for slip through their fingers, you'll stand tall as the victor. You didn't have to lift a finger to destroy their game. They destroyed it themselves, and in the end, they'll have no one to blame but the very arrogance that led them to underestimate you. So let them spiral, let them fall. The more they struggle, the more they will tighten the noose around their own neck. And while they suffocate in their own lies, you'll be free. Free to continue your ascent. Free to claim what's always been yours. They can't take it from you. They never could. The storm has passed, and now you stand in the aftermath, knowing that you are the one who remained standing when everything else fell apart. You were always destined for greatness, and no one, not even those who tried to bring you down, could ever take that away from you. They thought they could break you, didn't they? They thought that their deception would be the final nail in your coffin. They thought that the world would bend to their will, that they could manipulate you into submission. What they didn't know, what they could never have understood, is that you are made of something much stronger than they could ever imagine. You are not a puppet on their string. You are the one who holds the scissors that cut them loose. Let them think what they will. Let them believe that their petty games have any real power. In the end, it's the truth that always prevails. And the truth is that their downfall was inevitable. Every action they took to destroy you only sped up the process. Every move they made to take from you is what built the foundation for their inevitable failure. The more they tried to tear you down, the higher you climbed. They thought they were setting traps to capture your downfall, but all they did was create the path for their own demise. Now look at them. Look at how they scramble to maintain a grip on what's slipping through their fingers. They are trying to hold on to their lies, trying to keep their worlds intact, but it's all falling apart. And do you know why? Because the truth is like a fire that cannot be extinguished. No matter how much they try to cover it, no matter how many lies they stack on top of it, the truth will burn through. And as that truth burns, their empire of lies crumbles. But you stand strong in the center of this storm. You are never afraid of the truth. You've always known that in the end, only the truth matters. And the truth about them is this: they tried to play a game with you that they never understood. They thought they could outsmart you, outmaneuver you, but in reality, they were the ones being played from the start. They were the ones who thought they were in control, but it's you who has always had the power. It's you who has always been the one with the final say. And now, as they fight to keep their crumbling kingdom intact, you're watching with the satisfaction of knowing that you don't need to lift a finger to finish the job. They've already done the work for you. They've already set the stage for their own fall, and all you have to do is stand back and watch it unfold. It's not a question of if they'll fall, it's a question of when, and the answer is inevitable. Their manipulation was their greatest mistake. They believed that manipulating others, controlling the narrative, and using fear to keep everyone in line would allow them to remain at the top forever. They believed that their schemes were flawless, their plans impenetrable. But the truth is that their manipulation wasn't clever. It was reckless. They thought they could twist and distort everything to their advantage, but they failed to realize something crucial. The more you try to control others through lies and deceit, the more you create enemies. You may be able to silence the first few, keep the first few people in line, but the cracks will always show. Someone will always see through the veil. And once that happens, once that truth begins to leak out, it spreads like wildfire. You can't control the damage once it's started. It's like trying to stop a tsunami with a sandcastle. And now, here they are, with their empire in ruins, scrambling for answers they can never find. They thought they could bend you, break you, destroy you, but instead, they've created a force they can no longer control. You're not a victim of their manipulations. You're their executioner. You didn't need to play their game by their rules. You didn't need to stoop to their level of treachery. All you had to do was let them dig their own grave, and now they're in it, scrambling to find a way out. But there's no escape. You've heard them talk, haven't you? You've listened to their lies, their attempts to make you the villain in their story. They tried to paint you as the enemy, tried to make others believe that you were the one causing chaos. But you knew better. You knew that this was part of the game they had been playing. You were never their enemy. You were the person they couldn't control, and they hated you for it. But now, as they spiral deeper into the mess they've created, they will be forced to see the truth. They were always their own worst enemy. They thought they could erase your power. It's incredible, isn't it? The way they tried to strip you of your power, as though they could take away the essence of who you are. They tried to convince you that you weren't capable, that you weren't worthy, that you were never going to rise above their petty schemes. They tried to convince you that your worth was tied to their perception of you. They wanted to make you feel small, insignificant, as though you didn't matter. But here's the thing, they never understood the depth of your power. They never understood that your power comes from something far deeper than their approval or validation. Your power comes from the strength you carry inside of you, the resilience that fuels you every day, the unwavering belief in yourself that nothing, no one, can ever take away. And while they were busy trying to chip away at your confidence, you were quietly growing stronger. You were sharpening your mind, preparing yourself for the day when they would overstep one too many times, when their manipulation would finally catch up to them. And now, as they try to scramble and salvage what they can, you watch with calm satisfaction, because while they were playing games, trying to control everything, you were building your own strength. And now that strength is what's going to destroy them. They never imagined that you would come out stronger. They never imagined that you would take their attacks and turn them into fuel for your growth. They believed they could break you, but what they didn't know was that you were never meant to be broken. You were meant to be unshakable, unyielding, unstoppable. And now that the truth is clear, they're watching as their own actions, their own hubris, bring them to the edge of destruction. The storm they created is now their curse. They thought they could control the storm. They thought they could use it to destroy you. But what they failed to realize is that storms are unpredictable. They cannot be controlled. And now, as the storm they tried to create rages on, it's turning back on them. Everything they tried to use to hurt you is now the very thing that's causing their undoing. You are the calm at the center of the storm. While they panic, trying to hold on to the fragments of the life they've built on lies, you remain unfazed. The storm is their creation, but it's your victory. Because in the end, the storm only reveals the truth. It only exposes the cracks in their foundation. It only shows how fragile everything they built really was. And as they try to weather the storm, they'll find themselves overwhelmed, unable to stop the chaos they've set in motion. The very game they played against you is now the game they're losing. They're drowning in their own lies, and there's no one left to help them. No one to save them from the destruction they've caused. And while they struggle, you will rise higher. The storm that once threatened you is now the force that clears the path to your greatness. You've seen them crumble. You've watched them fall apart, and now it's your time. It's your time to shine, to take what's yours. You've earned it. Every sacrifice, every tear, every moment of doubt has led to this. And now, as they spiral, you will continue to rise, because you are not a victim. You are the victor. And in the end, you'll look at what's left of them, the remnants of their power, and you will know one thing for certain. They were never worthy of the fight they started. They were never worthy of the power they thought they held. You've earned this moment, and no one, no matter how hard they try, can take it from you. In the end, their game was always destined to fail because it was built on deception and arrogance. They tried to break you, control you, and make you bend to their will, but instead, they set the stage for their own downfall. As they spiral in the wake of their own actions, you stand tall, stronger than ever, untouched by their lies. Your victory wasn't in playing their game, but in breaking it. You've earned your place at the top, and no one, not even those who tried to tear you down, can take that away. You are the storm they couldn't predict, the force they never saw coming, and now their collapse is inevitable.